Welcome to T1 Academy. In this video, we are going to discuss one of the important concepts for all the competitive examinations, that is permutations and combinations, students. See here, students, when it comes to the student perspective, most of the students will try to skip this question when they see in the examination. Why? Because they don't even want to attempt this question. Not only this, permutation, combination and probability. Now see here, students, there is a link between these permutations, combinations and probability. Without learning these permutations and combinations, it will be difficult for you to solve some of the important questions from this probability concept. So always you should learn the permutations first, permutation combinations, and then only go for probability. Then only it will be very effective and you people will be able to understand how to answer the questions from the probability concept. So always we should learn the permutations and combinations first and then go to the probability next. And next, when it comes to these permutations and combinations, see here, students, what we actually think when it comes to this permutations and combination is in real time, in our day-to-day life, if I want to use the word for this permutations means, I can call this permutations as arrangement. Okay. I can call this permutations as arrangement and combinations. Later we will say about that combinations, but for time being, permutations means arranging, permutations means arranging. When it comes to combinations, combination means selection. Okay, when you want to select some people from some people, then we will use the concept of combinations. Usually if you want to arrange the things, we will use the concept of permutations. Permutations is nothing but arranging. That means when you see in the question, in how many different ways we can arrange the things. If you see these type of questions, there we are going to use the concept of our permutations. We are going to use the concept of permutations, right? Now see here. When it comes to this permutations, sir, what is this? Generally, they will say that if there are three persons, P, Q and R, I want to arrange them in a line. See, generally, in how many ways I can arrange? Tell me. First one, I can put P, Q and R. This is the first type. And if I put P is idle, and I can change the positions of R and Q. Now, similarly, I will bring the Q to the first position and then next P and R, next Q to the first position and R and P. Next I will bring R to the first position and then P and Q, R to the first position and then Q and P. In how many ways I can arrange these three people in a line? In how many ways I can arrange them? I can arrange them in how many ways? 6 ways. 6 ways. As there are only 3 people, so easily we have arranged them in 6 different ways. Okay, good, superb. But if there are some 4 people or 5 people, if there are some 4 people or 5 people, is it possible for us to write? Yes, it is possible, but the first thing is it will take a lot of time. And the next thing is you need to write all the combinations. Sometimes we may miss some combination or sometimes we may write double. So to avoid all these confusions, then sir, how we are going to arrange or how we are going to solve or how you are going to solve this means further permutations. Okay, we have the formula. We will use one formula for this permutations, that is NPR. NPR is the formula which we will use for arranging the things, and that is called as NPR. Now we will see later what is this N and all those things. NPR means N factorial by N minus R factorial. NPR means N factorial by N minus R factorial. So before going to this, sir, what is factorial? Factorial is nothing but product of the numbers from the given number to 1. In a descending order. For example, here the case is n factorial, right? N factorial means what you are going to do? N into n minus 1 into n minus 2 into and so on up to 1. Product of numbers from that number to 1. That means, for example, if I want to find 5 factorial, how I will find it? 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. Okay. Similarly, if I want to find 4 factorial means 4 into 3 into 2 into 1, and like this it will go on. And remember, students, carefully, 1 factorial is 1. 1 factorial is 1. Similarly, 0 factorial is also 1. 0 factorial is also 1. There is a huge story behind that. We don't require all that one, all proofs. Just we remember 0 factorial is 1. If we keep on seeing the proofs for all such type of things, it will take a lot of time. It is waste of time. Just remember 0 factorial is 1. How I will tell you. And remember one thing, NPN will be equal to n factorial. NPN will be equal to n factorial. Why? Because see here students, what happens here? N factorial by n minus n factorial, right? N factorial by n minus n factorial. What happens to this one? N factorial by 0 factorial. That is what? 1. Sorry. That is what? N factorial. That is what? N factorial. Okay, just remember this one. So, these are the factorials. Okay, sir, good, super. Now, this is how the arrangement will happen for us. For example, I have 3 positions. I have 3 positions and I have only 2 people X and Y. Then sir, in how many ways I can arrange them? Means please see here. How you can write this one, students? I will first position I will take X, next I will leave empty and then I can put Y. Yes sir, there is a possibility. Or else first position I will put empty and then I will write it as X and Y. Yes, there is also a possibility. Or else what I will do? Y, empty and X. That is also a possibility. Or else empty, Y and X. That is also a possibility. Now I will put the last space and empty. So that is a possibility. Next, Y, X and the last place and empty. So that means here also how many possibilities I got here? 6. Earlier also how many we got? 6. Okay, now that means what we can understand here is very simple, students. Actually the formula that NPR means what? Means N means number of places available, and R means number of objects. That means that means here for me 3 places are available, and how many objects are there for me here? 2 objects are there for me. What are those? X and Y. Now please see here what is happening here. NPR means what in this case? 3P2. This will become what? 3P2. Why? Because 3 places are available for me and 2 objects are there for me here. 2 objects. That means what happens to this one? 3 factorial by 3 minus 2 factorial. 3 factorial by 3 minus 2 factorial. Now what happens to this one? Directly 3 factorial, which is equal to 6. And remember one more thing here, students. When it comes to the factorials, please be careful. If anywhere you see that 8 factorial by 4 factorial, then please don't do in this manner. 4 1s are 4 2s are, so answer is 2 factorial. This is completely wrong. Then sir, how we need to solve this factorials means, what I will do is 8 factorial by 4 factorial means, can I write this as 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 factorial? 8 factorial I am writing at 8 into 7 into 6 into 5 into 4 factorial by 4 factorial. Yes sir, we can write it. Then you can cancel 4 factorial with 4 factorial. You can cancel the same factorials, but you cannot do the other things. So please be careful with this factorials, students. Okay, if there are factorials, don't cancel them. Okay, 4 1s are 4 2s are, like that. You should not do like that. And how you need to solve them means, this is how you need to solve the factorials. Remember this one carefully. And similarly this one also. Okay, now from the 2 cases, please see the last case. Sir, here there are 3 objects and 3 places are there. And here are also, in this case also I have 3 places and 2. Why still we are getting the same answer? Just 2 on. See here students, it depends on the number of places. Okay, and next thing, one more remember, if the number of places, that means if the number of places available and objects are equal, you can directly take your answer as n factorial. Please see here, earlier we have written NPN means what? N factorial. From this what we can derive? If the number of objects and the number of places are equal, then number of arrangements will be equal to directly n factorial. There you can directly write its value as n factorial. There you can write it directly as n factorial, or else remember the same thing we will do in a generalized manner also. Sir, how sir? How we will do it in a generalized manner means, please observe here. I have three persons, right? X, Y, Z. In my last example, I have three persons, X, Y, Z. And how many positions do I have here? Three positions, sir. Yes, you should understand all the concepts, students. See, the one is with the formula. Yes, we are going to solve most of the questions with the formula and with the process simultaneously together. And general observation is, in this first position, tell me, out of these three, any one can be seated, right? Am I correct or not? In this first position, assume this is first, this is second, and this is third position. Okay, when it comes to this first position, out of these three, any one can be seated, right? Either X, either Y, or either Z. Why? Because first position is opened for me. So, how many chances are there for me here? Three chances are there, sir. Okay, good, super. When it comes to my second position, already one out of these three are occupied in my first position, right? It may be either X, Y, or Z. And now for my second position, how many chances are there for me here? How many chances are there for me? It is nothing but two chances, right? This is nothing but two chances. Yes, sir, there are only two chances. Now, when it comes to the third position, already first and second positions are filled by any two of these three. Yes, sir. Then for my third position, how many chances will I be left here? I will be left with only one chance. So, now the answer here becomes product of these chances. 3 into 2 into 1. That is equal to what? 6. Anyway, all the things will come to the same answer. This is the general idea. You should know this one also, students. Why? Because there will be some questions where we are going to solve them by using this concept. By chances concept. How many chances are there for my first position? How many chances are there in my second position? And how many chances are there for my third position? This is how. See here, students, and till now, in all the areas which we have discussed, what is happening? We are using everything without a repetition. Sir, what is this without repetition and with repetition? See, without repetition only, most of the cases, in 99.99% cases, we will see questions based on without repetition only. In very, very rare conditions only, we will see questions based on with repetition. What is meant by this without and with? See here, we have written only it as XYZ, YZX and something like that, right? Am I correct or not? Now, what is meant by this with repetition means, I can also take as XXX, I can take XXY, I can take XXZ or else XYX, something like this. I can repeat the same letters again. This is called as with repetition. Now see here, in case of with repetition, students, to understand the formula easily, how many positions are there for me for the same question? This is without repetition. Now for the same question for with repetition. For my first position, how many chances will I have? All the three. Why? Because X, Y, Z are available for me. When it comes to my second position, here repetition is allowed, right? Now still all the three are available for me, right? Why? Because I can use once again X, I can use Y and Z. So, three chances are there. And for my third position also three chances. Why? Because here repetition are allowed. Even though I use X and X earlier also, still I can use X. So, for my third position also, how many chances are there for me here? Three chances. So, it will become what? 3 into 3 into 3. Which is nothing but 3 cube. That means overall with repetition we will have 27 chances. With repetition we will have 27 chances. This is how we are going to solve with repetition. But questions based on with repetition are very, very rare, as I already told you. Mostly we will have questions based on without repetition only. Understood? Now these are the basic things which we should know before going to our permutations concept slowly. Okay, now we will see the next one. Now see here, permutation. What is meant by permutation? Out of n different positions, just now I told you, right? R elements can be arranged in without repetition and with repetition. Please see here, NPR ways. N is the number of positions which we have, R is the number of elements which we have. And with repetition, just now we have seen, right, 3 cube. Similarly here also, R to the power of n, R to the power of n. And remember one more thing here, students, always this condition should be satisfied. N is greater than or is equal to R. Why, sir? If the number of elements are 5 and I need to arrange it in only 3 positions, is it possible for me? Can I arrange 5 people in 3 positions? No. But is it possible for me to arrange 3 persons in 5 positions? Yes, sir. I can arrange 3 persons in 5 positions, right? Yes. By leaving some empty space, I can arrange them. So that is the reason always n should be greater than or is equal to r. Then only we will get the answers in the case of our permutations. Remember this one carefully, students. N value will be always greater than or equal to r. Sometimes while reading the questions, if you get confusion also, simple, take the highest value in the position of n and take the smallest value in position of r. That's it. Understood? This is how we are going to solve the questions and the concepts. Now slowly we will move to the questions, students. Right? Now see the first one. In how many ways the letters? Now we will see. As I have already told you, when the number of letters and the number of positions, when number of positions and number of objects or elements, or elements are equal, there we will directly write it as n factorial, which we have discussed earlier itself, right? Why? Because there it will become anyway npn. Npn means what? Nothing but n factorial only. Npn is nothing but n factorial. Because of that reason, we will always directly take it as n factorial. N factorial. Understood? Okay, good sir, superb. We will take it as n factorial. Now, we will solve some questions. Now see here, in how many ways the letters of the following words can be arranged without repetition? I need to arrange the letters of these following words without repetition. The first one is money. Money. So anyway, this type of questions will contain the same places and the same number of questions. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. This is a 5-letter word, right? So I can arrange it in general. If I see it is a formula, 5 positions are there. I should arrange 5 letters in that 5 positions. So 5p5, yes sir, 5p5, good, superb. That is equal to 5p5 is equal to, what happens to this one, students? Now, what happens to this one? 5 factorial, 5 factorial, or else, if you see it in the general way, directly you can write 5 factorial, or in the general way, total how many positions are there for me? 5 positions are there for me. When it comes to my first position, how many chances are there out of these 5? Any one of these 5 can be placed at my first position. Am I correct? Yes, sir. When it comes to my second position, 4 chances. Third position, 3 chances, 2 chances and 1 chance. So that means it will become what here, students? 5 into 4 into 3 into 2 into 1. So anyway, the same thing, right? 5 factorial only. So what happens to this? 5 4s are 20, 23s are 60, 62s are 120. So 5 factorial is nothing but 120. See here, students, please try to remember the factorials at least up to 8. Minimum. More than that is also necessary, but a minimum of 8 factorial. Please try to remember them so that we can write the answers quickly. Okay, right. Next one, travel. Total how many letters are there in travel? 7 letters are there, sir. Okay, good, super. So I can arrange the travel in how many ways? Directly now I will write it as 7 factorial. 7 factorial. Just now we came to know that 5 factorial is what? 120. 6 factorial will become what, students? 6 factorial will become 120 into 6. It becomes 720. Next, 7 factorial will become what? It becomes 7 into 6 into 5 factorial. I will write like this only. Why? Because I know the 5 factorial value which I have calculated just now. So 7 into 6 into 5 factorial is how much? 120. So 6 factorial will become what, students, here? 6 factorial becomes 720. 720 into 7, it becomes what? 4900 plus 5040. 5040 will be is a 7 factorial. 5040 is a 7 factorial. Next, see here, quote. The letters of the word quote can be arranged in how many ways? 4 factorial ways. So this will become how much? 24. This becomes how much? 24. 4 factorial is nothing. Next, combine is 7 factorial. Why? Because I have 7 letters in the word combine. So 7 factorial is nothing but 5040. 7 factorial is 5040. Next one, education. Education is of how many letters? Is of 9 letters. So I will get here 9 factorial. Simply solve it and you will get the value of 9 factorial and write it down here. Okay, this is how we are going to solve this type of basic questions. Now, next set we will see slowly. Okay, now see here. Till now, all the examples which we have seen. Till now, in all the examples which we have seen. What are the examples which we have seen here, students? Till now, money, travel, court, combine and education. Please tell me one thing is common. Is any letter repeated in them? Is any letter? See here, in money, all the 5 letters are different. In travel, all the 6 letters are different. In court, all the 4 letters are different. In combine, all the 7 are different. And in education, all the 9 are different letters. All the 9 letters are different letters. So, easily we have solved that one. But, now please see here, this set of questions, what is happening? In this collar, L was repeated for 2 times. Oh my God. Next, gratitude, here also T was repeated. Next, horror, O and R are repeated. Here, corporation, O, R, A, all are repeated for multiple times. Sir, then how we are going to solve this type of questions? Very simple, students. Don't think too much. Whenever you have these type of cases, what we are going to do is, we will take an example of a small thing and then we will try to solve it. For example, already as we have discussed, if it is XYZ, what we used to do, we will use to write it as XYZ. First one, I am putting common and then next to repetitive manner. I mean alternative, X, Z, Y. Next, I will bring my second one to the first position. And the first one will go here and the third one will be. Next, second one, ZX. Next, the third one will come to first position and it will become ZXY and ZYX. Okay, good. So, why? Because my letters are XYZ, that is the thing. For example, if my letters are X, X and Y. If my letters are X, X and Y, in how many ways I can arrange it? For example, first one XY, next first one and YX. Next, second one will come to first, that means the X will come to first position, right? Why? Because second is the X. And my first will go to this position and then next Y. Next, second one YX. And then next, third one will come to my first position, that will become what, students? YXX. And then next, third one will be at the first position and these two are repeated. Now, please observe here. What happened here? If you observe carefully, these two are same, and these two are same. Am I correct? So, I am writing the arrangement for multiple times. So I should delete for them for once. So, overall, after deleting multiple times, what is the answer I got here? 3. What is the answer I got here? 3. So, here also the same thing, students. What is the actual concept here is happening? How many are repeating here? 2 are repeating, right? If you go it in the formula, as a formula, what you will write is NPR by number of repetitive factorial. That means what happens here for me? As usual, 3p3 by 2 factorial. Why? Because X was repeated for twice. Because of that reason, we will write it as 3p3 by 2 factorial. Why? 2 factorial is nothing but X is repeated for twice. So, that means my answer will become what here? 3 factorial by 2 factorial. So, 3 factorial by 2 factorial means what it becomes, students? 6 by 2. So, 3. The same answer here. So, whenever repetition is there, whenever a letter is repeated, immediately you will get the denominator. Keep this thing in your mind. Why? Because we are going to see this one for multiple times. Whenever a letter is repeated, immediately we will have a denominator. And then we need to solve it. Okay, right, sir, good. Now we will solve these questions. Now see here. In this collar, total how many letters are there in the word collar? Total, sir, 6 letters are there. So, if it is without repetition, in how many ways we will get the answer? We will write the answer as 6 factorial. But here L was repeated for 2 times. So, we will have a denominator as 2 factorial. Okay, this is, so what is 6 factorial? 6 factorial is 720. What is 2 factorial? It is 2. It will become what? 360. That means the letters of the word collar can be arranged in how many ways? 360 ways. So, why we have taken 2 factorial means letter L was repeated for 2 times. Because of that reason, I have written here 2 factorial. Okay, good, super. Now, when it comes to this gratitude, how many are there? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Total 10 letters are there. Okay, sir, good. Yes, so if it is a general case, we will write it as 10 factorial by. But here, for me, T was repeated for how many times? Thrice. T was repeated. Is there any other letter apart from T? No. T is the only letter which was repeated for thrice. So 10 factorial by 3 factorial. 10 factorial by 3 factorial. I don't want to waste time by solving all this. Just I will write it as 10 factorial by 3 factorial. But in examinations, remember, we will always have the completely solved one. Okay, keep that thing in your mind. So 10 factorial by 3 factorial. Next, in horror. In horror. Total how many letters are there in horror? In horror, we will have 6 letters. So if it is a general case, we will have 6 factorial. If it is a general case, we will have 6 factorial. But here, see here students, O was repeated and R was also repeated. Sir, O was repeated for 2 times, R was repeated for 3 times. So 2 plus 3, it is 5. I will write here 5 factorial. No, not like that students. You should write them individually only. O was repeated for 2 times, so write it as 2 factorial into, and R was repeated for how many times? 3 times, so we will write it as 3 factorial. So 6 factorial by 2 factorial into 3 factorial. Okay, understood? So this is how we are going to solve that one. Next, corporation. Total how many letters are there? 4, 4 and 11. So total we have 11 letters. So 11 factorial by, and O was repeated for how many times? 3 times, so 3 factorial. R was repeated for 2 times, so 2 factorial. And is there any other repetition? O 3 times, R 2 times, and there is no other repetition, so that's it. So 11 factorial by 3 factorial into 2 factorial. Please be careful students, if the letters are, multiple letters are repeated, write them separately. Don't add them and then write it finally. Okay, write them separately. Similarly in engineering, so total how many are there for me? 5, 11 factorial. And E was repeated for how many times here? E was repeated for 3 times. Okay, 3 factorial. Next, N was repeated for how many times here? N was repeated for 1, 2 and 3. So 3 factorial. Next, I was repeated for, G was repeated for how many times? 2 times, so 2 factorial. Next, I was repeated for how many times? 2 times, so 2 factorial. Okay. So we need to write them individually. We need to write them individually and just solve it, and we will get the final answer. We will get the final answer. Understood? Right. Next one. Now, in how many ways? These are the general question. The letters of the word money can be arranged such that always Y occupy the middle position. Right. Now, this is little bit different. Now, earlier we have seen without any conditions and how we are going to solve it. Here, in this case, my Y should occupy the middle position. So, total how many positions do you have here? 5 positions. The letter word money contains how many positions? 5 positions. In that, my letter Y should always occupy the middle position. He is telling that my Y should occupy always the middle position. So, now I will be left with more how many positions, students? 4 positions. I will be left with more how many positions? 4 positions. Okay, good, superb. Now, in these 4 positions, I will be left with what other words? M-O-N-E. Other letters are M-O-N-E. In these 4 positions, these 4 letters should be arranged. That's it, right? So, what will be happen for me? 4 positions are there and 4 letters. So, it will become what? 4P4, which is equal to 4 factorial. 4 factorial is nothing but 24. This is one method. And the other general method, if I want to tell the same thing in the general method means, please see here, if Y occupies this position, so how many chances are there for this position? Only one chance, right? That means it should be always filled with only Y. Should be always filled with only Y. Now, when it comes to my first position, out of 5, Y is already occupying. So, for my first position, how many chances I will have? 4 chances. And for my second position, I will have 3 chances. For my this position, I will have 2 chances, 4th position. And for my last position, I will have 1 chance. So, this will become what for me? 4 into 3 into 2, 1 into 2 into 1. That will become what? 24. So, this one is with the chances case, that is the generalized case, and this one is with the formula. Conditions, just we need to see always whenever a condition is given. Y should occupy middle or Y should occupy starting, Y should occupy end means always we should fulfill that condition first and then only arrange the remaining conditions, remaining elements. First we should fulfill that condition and then only arrange the remaining things. So, here our answer becomes what? 24. Here our answer becomes 24. Right? Next one. In how many ways the letters of the words cross can be arranged such that R occupies the middle position? Here see here, R should occupy the middle position. Okay, good, superb. So total in cross, how many letters are there for me? 5 letters are there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And 5 positions are there. And R should occupy the middle position. R should occupy the middle position. So after R occupying the middle position, how many chances will I be left here? I will be left with 4 positions. And how many letters are there for me here? 4 letters are there, sir. Okay, good. So our answer will become, this one is 4 factorial. Is it correct? Is it correct? No. Why? What is the reason? The reason is very simple. Here S was repeated for 2 times. S was repeated for 2 times. So immediately we will have a denominator. See, irrespective of the cases or conditions, anything, if any letter is repeated, immediately we will have the denominators. Immediately we will have the denominator. So 4 factorial by 2 factorial. That is nothing but 24 by 2. So our answer here becomes what? 12. So that means we can arrange the letters of the word cross such that R always occupies the middle positions in how many ways? 12 different ways. Please keep an eye on these repeated letters, students. Always you should have an eye on this one. Then anyway the process is same, but just you should be very careful if there any letter is repeated or not. You should be always tentative to that and observe it and then immediately write it in the denominators. Okay. Right, next one. Now see here, chrome can be arranged so that it begin with E and end with O. So chrome, how many letter word it is? It is a 6 letter word, sir. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. In this, what is the condition? As I have already told you, always we need to fulfill the condition first. What is the condition? It should begin with E and end with O. So that means it should begin with E and it should end with O. Now if out of 6 all are different only, right? Different. So no need of worry of that repetition and denominator. Simple. So 2 positions are already fixed. There are else chances are already fixed. Right? Only 1 each, right? Now how many positions are left for me? 4 positions are left, sir. And how many letters are left for me? What are those? C, H, R, M. 4 letters are left, sir. 4 letters and 4 objects and 4 positions. In how many ways you can arrange them? In 4 factorial ways. When it comes to this first position, 1 way, and the last one is also 1 way. So 1 into 4 factorial into 1, it becomes what? 24. So our answer here becomes 24. So always fulfill the conditions first. Okay, next one. So these are the cases, students. These are the general things. In our next video, the continuation video, definitely we will discuss more detailed and important problems from this permutations concept. Okay, thank you very much.